Okay, so there's a lot of stuff out there in the world about self-improvement, and God bless TikTok. I'm on there too sometimes, but it really restrains you to a minute or two, and that's not real. I mean, you might get a hit from that, but that's not going to sustain you. So I want to talk to you about self-improvement. I want you to move away from the idea of self-improvement as though you're a hot mess. I mean, we have moments when we're hot messes for sure, but and look at it as evolution. So there is the standard of changing. That's kind of self-improvement. When you're changing habits and you're changing the way you've done something because you want another outcome. Brilliant. So you change your behavior, maybe start working out, or maybe you don't pick up the phone when you're working. That's great. And that's the first step. And then the next one is in transformation, when you actually start to become more of who you are. There is an allowance available to you. You are transforming. You're no longer fixing bad habits, which are just fine. Again, we have to do that. We do it throughout our lives, but that's not your focus anymore. It's like, okay, I know who I am now. I know change is possible. What's the up leveling of that? Well, it is called transformation. And transformation is actually a process, and it can be a long process. It could take a year, it could take a couple months, really depends on the person, really depends on divine timing, right? We'll talk about divine timing in other videos more specifically, but it's the place where you shed the personality completely and you're allowing the soul now really to move you about. You are starting to be much more intuitive. You're listening within, you're listening about into the ethers, you're downloading from source energy, and that those conversations are starting to transform you into a more grounded spiritual human being and consciousness. Okay, that's transformation, and it's wild when it happens. And again, like the habit forming change, it will happen again and again in your life. Now, some people can refute it. Some people aren't comfortable and they're like, no. And you can absolutely push away transformation. But if you're open to it, no matter how scared you might be, or you might not be scared. Okay, I was scared, but you might not have been. But if you are a little fearful, that's normal. But just hang on. Hang on to faith. Hang on to hope. Hang on to your creativity. Hang on to your friends. Hang on to love. Cling to something that is sturdy enough to hold you during the transformation. Because you're going to end up over on the next next limb of life very soon, which is evolution. And evolution, it sounds really pious, and yes, we have a lot of living mystics in the world, and that's a whole nother level. But really, this is about you surrendering the mind and the personality to source. And you allow source energy, and you can call that whatever you want. Again, I'm just using a title. Sometimes I say God, sometimes I say divine. You're allowing divine energy to tell you in each moment who you are, what you're here to do in this moment, and what is next for you. Now, when that starts to occur for some people, it can be like a little frightening because you're not used to hearing that. But if you've moved from change to transformation, this will be a natural progression. Because what's happening now is it's not about changing your behavior. It's about actually connecting deeply with the divine within and the divine that's everywhere. And allowing your mind and the mind chatter to relax so that you can hear truth, so that you can step into belonging, so that you can honor love, not just of people you like or a particular situation or a flavor of ice cream, mine's dark chocolate. It is about loving all that there is, which honestly can be a really big challenge at first. How do you love something or someone who causes harm? And it doesn't mean you fall in love with them. It means that you see them as a human being and you love them as a human being, even if in their humanity, they're not a kind person. And let me tell you, those people, more than anything, need our love. Our love is not predicated on how much we like someone. Our love is universal and meant to be shared. And this is when you know you're in the place of transformation. And I want to be very clear, one of these places is not better. Now, there is a graduation from one to the other, so it can seem like, I have evolved. But there's no ego here. There can be no ego here because the divine is here. Love is here. And there's no need for the ego if Source is sourcing you.